check. If we want to, we can move the rook away, exemplified by this variation, where it's just an instant draw by perpetual. One is bad because in the variations where we sacrifice our rook, black will now be able to trade off the one remaining, the rook we wanted to keep on the board.
I have to say, I am a little surprised. And actually, maybe, do you think Hikaru went to h1 to not step into any potential knight checks?
Well, I mean, he went here because he wants to get the rook pointing down at the king.
Of course, but king h2 does the same thing. So I'm sure Hikaru must have considered, at least for a brief moment,
so,
should I go to h1 or h2?
So let me showcase this variation. Knight to d4. Now top choice, bishop e5. And after knight to f3, because this is not a check, maybe we can sack the bishop. Computer hates it. Damn it. Top of line here after takes is queen takes back. In the center of the board, but then queen c3 attacks the queen and threatens a back rank checkmate. Maybe this is something he's looking at. If you don't take the bishop, bishop to d7, threatening to go on the diagonal. Takes. Oh, and then takes here. That's surprising. Sacrificing the rook, but setting up a nice double attack afterwards. This still feels pretty hopeless, even if the computer feels it's okay. But yeah, this is this is his plan. And computer says it's probably a draw with correct play, but difficult defense ahead.
If we get something, a position like this, again, there is very much hope. So let's wait and see what Sindarov does here. And while he's thinking, is it time for us to once again update the other games? Or do you still want to look at something?
Yeah, no, let's a brief check of the other games. Fabi's advantage just keeps increasing here. Pragnananda, very nice how he's put his pawns to really restrict the movement of his opponent's pieces. Prague has a good advantage here and keeps also the time advantage. So feeling optimistic on his behalf there. And yeah, all Anish against Waves.
No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over.
I just wanted to say thank you so much to Mr. Leon in the chat for the kind words. We do try and keep your hopes up as much as we try and keep our own hopes up. And I have to admit, Hammer, sometimes even I turn to you for some copium, and today you very much have delivered.
Well, it's easier to give copium when you genuinely have an attacking position, right?
Yeah.
So even though Hikaru's down a gazillion pawns, the reason he's given them away is because he wants to attack the opponent's king, and there is a mass of black pieces who still are on the queen side and very far away from defending the king. So if there's any position, it should be possible to create some chaos, some counter threats, some hope. then this is it.
It sucks when you finally feel like giving up. Oh God, no luck. Everything feels like
What do we do? You had floated the idea of
don't give a fuck, can't stop, unplug, feeling overwhelmed. I think I've had
which has not been honored yet. So shall we do that?
Yes, let's do that. And well, I was checking the games from round 4. So let's move to the games of round 5 instead. One of which has already finished. Goryachkina with white pieces, unable to pose big problems for Anna Muzichuk, who has secured a draw with the black pieces.
Sorry, Hammer, but I'm just. What happened to Goryachkina's rating? Wasn't she 2600 not so long ago?
That's rude.
No, it's a genuine question. Maybe I'm misremembering, but she was 2600, right?
Well, she was 2590. I'm not sure she ever did make 2600, but she's been having a somewhat poor period of time. Even worse than me, which is really saying something. Yeah, her rating has taken a bit of a dive. How's your rating doing?
It's been in free fall.
Yeah, so you're familiar with the
It went
feeling.
down so steeply. I had one really bad year. I was not in a good place mentally that year. A couple of years back, I should not have played much chess that year, but I did, and my rating very much paid the price. Ever since then, I've decided the best thing I can do to stop the bleeding for now is to pretty much stop playing. But I shall play a few league games in May, and I'll probably play the Olympics. So hopefully we can reverse the trend and get back to my.
Goryachkina is not reversing the trend, and she's had to acquiesce to a draw here with the white pieces, which I believe means Muzichuk remains in the lead. Goryachkina needed to win that game to get herself into first place in the standings, and the person who can now become the new unshared leader of the event is Bibisaara Asaubayeva, playing with black pieces here against Katarina Lagno, and Asaubayeva has sacrificed a rook for a knight. Very exciting play.
Can we go back and see how we got to this crazy position? Wow, look at the first move. I know that was the third move.
So it was a dragon. Asaubayeva apparently should have sacrificed all her pieces to get white's queen here. Normally I would say that a knight and a bishop and a rook in trade for a queen and 2 pawns favor the bishop, well, the pieces. Engine feels like here there are some problems for white's king, and that black would actually be better off with this very unusual trade. When Asaubayeva instead started doing stuff with pushing her pawn forward in the center, followed by, not too late thereafter, sacrificing her rook for the white knight, we get to the current position on the board where Engine says completely winning for white. So maybe Asaubayeva can find a swindle, a trick here to take her back into the game, but for the moment it looks like it's Lagno who will instead make her stand and get first place shared with Muzichuk. With a win, and if Lagno is making moves, then the winner of this game between Jujiner and Vaishali will also join them.
Actually, the women's tournament is a lot closer in terms of standings. We see right now, okay, only one game has ended, but Anna Muzichuk currently in the lead on 3 out of 5, which is only plus 1, so there isn't someone with a big score like Sindarov is in the men's tournament.
Yeah, and Vaishali is down a full pawn, but it's a very blockaded position with the pawns. So a draw still seems likely. But yeah, pawn up for the Chinese number one ranked player. And the last game here is actually the two players at the bottom of the table. Two only players to have lost thus far, I think. And Tan Zhongyi has a slight advantage as white because Divya has some isolated pawns on the queen side.
Okay, so that's for our look at the women's candidates. Meanwhile, back in Hikaru's game, Sindara did play knight d4 did happen as the rook g1.
So I guess this is why he, like you said, Fiona, this is why Hikaru didn't put the king on h2, because he didn't find this idea of sacrificing the rook for the knight. And when you don't see that idea, you're more into the fact that if the knight captures the bishop, it will be a check against your king. Now, big question. After knight takes here, can we sacrifice? And the answer is yes. Very interesting. So if now knight takes bishop, because it's not a check on the king, it allows white to do something other than just recapturing immediately. And Hikaru can take advantage of that by sacrificing his rook.
And the next move is so sick.
Sacrificing another rook. And if this second rook is captured, the queen comes in. Check, 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 check. And it's a draw. And
you don't know what my concern is. Like, this is, it's giving us hope, but it feels a little too easy for Sindara to miss.
Yeah. So Sindara is not going to miss that. So instead, he's going to play g6. We've talked about this move earlier, that he needs to have his pawn reinforced by other pawns, which is certainly the case here. But the benefit for Hikaru is that by putting all his pawns on the light squares, Sindara is creating a lot of dark squared weaknesses. So, yeah, I mean, we have some hope, right? Maybe we do not. Found a variation where the best thing for Sindara to do is sacrifice his queen. The idea here being that if knight takes rook, we've seen this idea before. The queen and bishop working together on those weakened dark squares close to the black king, creating a mating net. And, in fact, unavoidable checkmate on the next move. We seem to have lost Fiona. Brother Hammer is all on his own. Can you guys hear me? I'm still on, right? Got one life, I won't regret it. I will fight until I get it. I'll look back one day from heaven and say, damn, I learned some lessons. And say, damn, I have no questions. I had fun in every second. Did she OD on the copium? You know, it's like how they say you need some fruits every day. A little bit of copium is good for your general nervous system. Can you please stop giving fake hope? But what if I believe the hope to be real? There's two of him, I knew it. I don't think anyone wants to live in a world where there's two of me. That would be overkill. Too much. Cinderella has like 55 minutes. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna blunder this rook takes g7 trick. But he is gonna feel a bit uncomfortable about playing g6 and opening up these dark squared weaknesses. Engine's top choice here is rook takes knight again. Let's go and check down that path actually. Because after h5, the reason we thought Hikaru made a mistake putting his king on this h1 square was rook to e1. But here the engines are saying due to the dark squared weaknesses around the black king, this is perfectly fine for Hikaru. Black is still completely undeveloped on the queen side. You have to be pretty accurate as black even to just get a draw. Wow, this is fascinating. We even lose this pawn on h6. So we go bishop a3, threatening the back rank checkmate. And then when this bishop moves in, we have our bishop and king lined up perfectly to create trouble over here. I mean, at this point it's kind of a miracle that black is even surviving. This looks kind of sketchy. Very scary with the queen and bishop working together on the dark squares like this. So some variation. Okay, no, he did play g6. Hikaru instantly. Bishop d5. Okay, so bishop e6 is pretty obvious. Trying to just trade when you're up by 3 pawns. And then bishop comes in, attacks the rook. Rook moves in, and then we have a double attack. So we're about to win a rook for a bishop, which sounds great. But there's an issue. The queen can move and counterattack this bishop, and when the bishop is captured, it's actually a check on the white king. That's unfortunate. It's so difficult knowing the right square for the king in situations like these. But we've seen a couple of variations where Hikaru's king placement is unfortunate. Okay, bishop e6 has been played. Can you explain the fork to us? Well, I mean, I just assume when Hikaru number 1 allows the knight to move up and attack both the queen and the rook, and Cinderella is playing without many of his pieces on the queen side, I kind of just assumed that this is not going to happen since Hikaru's kind of inviting it. It felt like this is what Hikaru wanted to have happen, which is why I didn't pay too much attention to it. Cinderella has 50 minutes on his clock and yet chooses not to spend that time and instead kind of just blitzes out the bishop into the game. But it is a very good move though. Cinderella is playing at the highest level. Yeah, he's played it well. But I think the main thing that Cinderella has done today is the bravery of taking on Hikaru's preparation. Because he must have known Hikaru had something cooked up. And then taking that risk and getting rewarded by Hikaru not remembering what he was supposed to do, that was the big part of his recipe for success today. So, do we have any news on Fiona? I mean, I must admit that when we lost her, I was kind of assuming she would be back on in less than a minute. But does Germany not have internet connections anymore? Sveike is in chat. Sveike, can you go and lend her some of your roaming internet? It would seem she's in need. I wonder how much that costs. Mobile roaming in a foreign country to do video. Sounds slightly expensive.
Hammer, I'm so sorry.
Did you run out of internet in your kind of subscription? Or what?
No, I'm on the hotel Wi-Fi, but to my horror, my hotspot, which I had tested ahead of time, was also not willing to connect. So I had a little moment of panic, but I'm back. I apologize, chat. I saw my ghost was there in my absence because weirdly enough, one of the two computers stayed online while the other didn't. But I'm here now. I will make sure for tomorrow that the hotspot does work. Otherwise, Hammer, maybe I have to steal your Norwegian TV internet.
Yeah, we were just discussing an appropriate price for such an event. Yeah.
Oh, a price.
Yeah. In other news, turns out the game is going to be over now soon, Fiona. You kind of missed out on some key moments, the little time we lost you. Sindarov has been able to develop his queenside pieces. There is an attack against the black rook in the corner, but Sindarov doing the counterattack here with the pressure on the queen and on the rook. And the key here is that if Hikaru moves his queen to stay close to this black king and create some issues, Sindarov will not capture the rook, because then, as we have seen in other variations, the dark squared bishop together with the queen creates a checkmating attack on black's king. However, queen to c3, that's the move. And this not only enables the queen to cover down back toward its own king, it's also in some variations threatening a check on the edge of the board here in against the white king, in addition to the knight still attacking the rook as compensation for white's bishop attacking the rook in the opposite corner. So queen d2 has been played by Hikaru, and going for the queen trade when you're down 3. Actually, we're only down 2 pawns now, but 2 pawns is still rather significant. And after takes, and rook d8. Yeah, it would seem
Is there
that
any chance here because of the opposite color?
yeah, there should be a chance because these bishops can create blockading situations. Let's see what Sindarov has calculated. Takes. Yeah, well, he's going down this path. So we were on the right track. Take. And now, if bishop takes pawn, then this bishop takes this pawn. And even though he covers down by 2 pawns, especially the fact that black has no control over the dark squares on the king side, should enable him to have a fair shot at saving the game. So this would be a mistake by Sindarov. Instead, he should counter pressure here down the d-file. And then after a3, bishop takes. offers a trade, takes back. Oh, here we're winning a pawn back. I mean, opposite colored bishop endgames down 2 pawns is normally possible to save. Am I concerned that this pawn is very far advanced? Yes, definitely. But I've seen similar situations be saved. Computer not having given it much hope though. But other than rook d8 now, it feels like Hikaru's gonna have some saving chance.
I mean, what to say? Javok here has just
I mean, he's blitzing. He's doing the same thing he did against Fabi.
He's just played another really, really good game. What can you say?
Okay, so Hikaru's going into this endgame down 3 pawns.
You know, I think it's been a painful tournament for us here on Team Hikaru because there have been chances, and today it was such a heartbreaker so early in the game because it looked like, oh my goodness, this prep could actually, like, this is something super ambitious. We give up 2 pawns, and if Hikaru had played knight e4, if he had blitzed it out and remembered all the ramifications of his prep, it could have been a completely different game, and that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But
yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this game at least I can't be mad at myself. I'll tell you guys that much. That's the good news.
Why do you say that?
I mean, this is 100% on the people who are working for me. I had a file, it didn't have to move castles, and honestly, castles is such. I mean, I guess it's technically a novelty, but it's such a human move. And as soon as Javok here played it, I was like thinking to myself, like, what is this? I mean, just actually like actually kind of insane. I mean, maybe you can say that over the board I should have some way to figure it out, but I think it's insane. It's impossible without knowing what the correct line is. Like, I mean, I don't know what to say. I actually don't know what to say. It's like, I mean, everything else in this tournament, I can very easily just like, I mean, obviously it's on me for messing up, but this was 100% on the people working for me, because like, I mean, I looked at other variations, but I didn't have to move castles in the file, and I mean, I you know, maybe if I know what the next 2 or 3 moves are, I can work it out after 94. The game goes on, but it's just very, very hard. It's just very, very hard to play. I mean, I think it's just impossible from a human standpoint without knowing the line.
Do you think this, what you did here, it was based, I assume, on the fact that Sindarov was running away with things? But
I mean, this was my prep. I mean, let's be real. This was just my prep. The castles wasn't in the file. I mean, it's really that simple. It's just that simple. And for anybody who's asking, by the way, I mean, I'm not going to say who I'm working with exactly, but I mean, I will say, like, there is someone who I don't know if they're in the top 20, but they're around the top 20. Let's leave it at that. So I don't want to hear it about like saying that this is on like Chris or anything like that. I mean, I'll just say one of the people I'm working with is, I don't know if they're in the top 20 or around the top 20, something like that. So I don't want people to be stupid about it.
A couple of days ago, you said about the Wei Yi against Karanagi, that Wei Yi played extremely risky, even though he had good prep. Giving away 2 pawns like that was you know, from a practical point of view, a very, I don't remember precisely the wording.
Yeah, I mean,
you had.
I mean, I don't know what to say really. I mean, because this was just my prep. Like, I mean, this was kind of my prep for the event. So like, you can say it's too risky, but this is what I prepared for the event. I mean, Castle just wasn't in the file. It's like, what it is.
But similarly to, because like Wei's opening against Corona, that was also his prep, and personally I think a pretty good one. But you had this general concept of it being, you were initially skeptical to Wei's prep because it left so much kind of risk.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. I mean, it's very easy in retrospect to say, but I mean, I think probably if, you know, okay, of course the result makes it very clear what the correct decision was and what the wrong decision was. But I think what I would say is that basically, I mean, probably it was just a bad choice. Probably just a bad choice to play it, even though this was, of course, my prep going into the tournament. So, yeah, I mean, it's what it is. But I mean, as much as I'd like to be mad about this game, I mean, I can't really be mad about this game because figuring it out over the board, I think. I mean, can you guys show me what the lines are? I actually want to see it.
Yeah, no, there were some crazy variations here.
Yeah, so 94, yeah, of course, 94, Queen A5, B4, Queen D8, and how does it go?
Yeah, because we were wondering if you were considering Queen H4.
But this is just I mean, at the very least, I have a draw after Queen H4. At the very least, with Bishop G3.
Okay.
I mean, I have this Bishop D6, Bishop G3. I mean, at the very least. At the very least. No, I mean, of course I was considering 94 H4, but I mean, it's just... I mean, over the board, I think it's very, very, very hard to play this. Like B4, Queen D8, and then what?
Oh, you were thinking Queen D8?
Yeah.
So did you kind of realize the difference between knight takes and Queen D8 compared to playing H4?
I mean, no, I didn't actually. I didn't understand what the difference was. But no, Queen D8 is what I expected, and then I mean, like, I mean, there's no obvious plan for White, and Sindarov's going to be in his preparation. Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, again, like, if you know this is the variation, you can find this. You'll know this. But if you don't, I mean, you're down 2 pawns and you're supposed to keep sacking and everything. I think it's just, yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah, because we were talking about how I wasn't feeling very pessimistic, even though you were shaking your head, because I felt like if you find knight e4, you're gonna find your way back into your prep, because you're gonna remember.
But it's not my prep. It's not my prep. That's the problem. I don't have this in the file.
Yeah, and we didn't know that, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, you're right. If I had this in my file, I could probably backtrack and work it out. But I didn't even have this in my file, so it's like, I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Even with 2 hours on the clock, I mean, I think it's just like, it's just way too much. It's just, I mean, it's just really, it's impossible. Like it's just impossible. It was just a bad choice. I mean, if I had this line in my file, then it's a whole different ballgame. But because I didn't have this castle move in my file, it made it just, you know, it made it a disaster.